Yes, hello, welcome back to an episode of the Ajax series. It's going to be a little bit of a short one today as we play AZ Alkmaar, who currently sit in 4th position. We are on 29 points after our win against PSV in the league. We were defeated in the cup, but I'm just going to be honest, I'm not really bothered about the cup as much. A lot of people, not to say a lot of people, one or two people noticed the ladder from last episode. The ladder remains. Well, whether the ladder will be here for much longer, who knows? I don't know where I'm going to put the ladder for now, so the ladder stays there. Anyway, let's continue. So let's continue with some Football Manager, shall we? I just accidentally pressed the space bar and it stopped my recording, for those that are confused. Right then, let's see though. AZ Alkmaar, it should be a fun one. They're a decent side, of course. Problems for teams so far this season. Hopefully they won't cause problems for me. And then after this game, I think we'll probably not skip. Well, yeah, we probably will skip a few up until maybe Feyenoord, and then get a double in for them, because I want this series to progress a little bit more. It's been a little bit sluggish so far. I think we've got a winter break sort of in between those two as well, so that sort of makes a little bit more sense. And let me just actually do one before we carry on. Let's double check that. Yes, there is 24th to the 21st. So yeah, we'll come back for the first game of the after the winter break, and we should be fine. But let's play this one first, then see how we get on against AZ. Should be. I've said this about 4 times now, but it should be quite a good game. They've got some decent players, as have we, but we need to try and get some form going in the league so far. If we take a look at the Eredivisie quickly, you can see from our past positions, very briefly, that we've been very consistent, but very consistently sort of second and sorry, is that PSV? My bad. We've been very consistent, but consistently sort of down here. We've sort of be 3rd and 4th, which is not where you want to be. If you're Ajax, you want to be 1 and 2 constantly and just battling it out. And so far, we've not really ventured back up there. So to get into the second or first, sorry, is the goal so far this season, and then hopefully to stay there and challenge until the end of the season. West Ham have hired Craig Shakespeare as manager. Of course, in real life, we just sat Tony Pulis. Now, on yesterday's video, I asked you in depth about what we should do with the future of these series, and a lot of people, and I kind of get this, thought that doing a week-long series where you just manage a team for a week isn't necessarily suited to my style, but I guess my counter to that would be that they would be different to my regular style. My regular style of sort of character building is one thing, but I think going through more teams and finding out about more teams and managing more teams might be quite interesting. The alternative would be to do it over 2 weeks. So rather than doing a week-long thing with 5 episodes, do a 10-episode series with teams. Because a few people are saying I'll do 20 episodes, but I feel like 20 episodes, you're committing a lot more time, and I kind of want to play through a little bit more and see what occurs. Now, whether we do that from this save or create a new save, I'm still not sure. But we do have options there, so we'll sort of decide as we get towards the end. A big part of it, I actually think, will depend on what jobs we're offered at the end of this save. If there's some fun ones, then I think we'll stick with this. If not, we'll sort of restart and see what goes along. The plan was always to do this continually, but if there's not the right teams, clubs, whatever, then we won't. Right, let's take a look at the team then for this game. David Neres is going to come in to play on that right-hand side. Eunice is on the left-hand side. And then attacking midfield, we're going to bring Ziyech back in. He's been playing pretty well there recently for us. Sinkgraven can come back onto the bench. Van der Beek maybe back in the middle for Schoen. Yeah, he just seems to prefer it there. And you know what, apart from that, I'm going to keep things as they are. Dietz is going to keep his place. Actually, is he? Or are we going to bring back in Vergava? Yeah, we're going to bring back in Vergava. Why not? I should say, thank you for watching this series. I know it's a different pace from normal, and it's a bit more chatty. It's a little bit more, I don't know, it's slower, isn't it, than the other series. But if you enjoy this sort of thing, then thank you for watching, of course. I do appreciate people sticking around. Since we last did videos, I hit 50,000 subscribers, and I'm sure that's a good team talk. I'm sure some of you might not have seen the video that I mentioned that. So if you are someone that is subscribed, thank you so much for subscribing. 50,000 is a big number, and I was incredibly pleased to hit it. We're actually not too far away from 51,000 now, which is pretty mad. But with the release of the new game, you always hope you get a little bit of a boost from that, and so far, so good. It's been a really good month. I think I've hit my most amount of views ever in a 30-day period. I think I'm on like 1.1 million, which is pretty mad. It's funny though, because I get this, I feel like, as I say, these are sort of more podcasty, these chats. So we're going to try and keep it a bit podcasty and talk about stuff as well as the football. But we'll go forward here with Eunice out on this left-hand side. Lots of players in the middle. Ziyech header in on goal, and an early goal against AZ Alkmaar. We are away from home, and you can see that we need the win desperately. I think that will put us on 32 points. I'm sure. I think it updates late normally as we go forward. We'll actually skip this just to make sure I can see it. Although now it's disappeared. This has gone. We've got 2 of the same thing here. Let's get a league take. Oh my god, 32 points. I was right. 4 points behind PSV then, and 7 points behind Feyenoord. So plenty of work to do. As Ziyech goes through again, and well, he's lashed it against the post. No, but what I was saying was, the whole, I get quite a lot of questions even now, and a lot of sort of, suspicion's probably the wrong word, but people are interested about how I managed to do YouTube full time. I think when I tell you that I've had 1.1 million views in the last 30 days, that sort of makes sense, because I always phrase it like this, right? If you saw a YouTuber have 11 videos in 1 month that got 100,000 views, you would think, oh, they're doing really well. They're a big YouTuber. And that's no different to what I'm doing, I guess. So that's a good way of putting it to people. Like when I talk to family and stuff, that's a good way to put it. It's like, all right, so how many views do you get? And I have to kind of explain, well, I do a lot of videos, but those videos equate to whatever. And it's quite, in fairness, it's quite a cool way. Like, I think it's quite a cool way of doing it, because I keep my community quite small, and that's not, well, not small's the wrong word, tight knit, I like to think. I spent yesterday replying to, hopefully if you did watch the 50,000 subscriber video, I think I spent an hour and a half replying to all the comments on that video. And it's lovely to see people, like when they first watched, there's some really random ways people have found the videos as well, which is really cool. Yeah, and I think if you're probably more of a long-term viewer, this is the sort of series that you'll sort of stick with and watch, because it's just, I don't know, I guess part of me wants to say it's just a bit more of me, isn't it, than it is sort of the excitable Arsenal series. But yeah, I love doing this sort of thing. I think it's really fun, and I've enjoyed this more and more as we've gone on. It's a little bit like streaming, but without you talking back in the comments and in the chat. So that is a different skill set, weirdly, and you wouldn't think it would be, but to talk continually, it's a bit more like if I was ever to do radio. This is a bit like what the radio show would sound like, because there's no instant feedback from anyone apart from people like texting in or whatever. But even then, like, would they still be doing that? As this game has sort of developed quite nicely. AZ have had very little chances. We've had 7 shots, 3 on target, and well, they've blazed a really good opportunity over there. In terms of the team, is it time to make some switches around? Montari is struggling for fitness out there, but we don't have too many options. Oh, by the way, as we're here, the Nuri thing is completely understandable, and I'll be completely honest, I didn't know that's why he was retiring in 2020, but that, as you will notice, is when his contract is up, and Ajax have agreed to pay his contract while he's in a lot of pain, which I think is beautiful from the club. Actually, I think that's admirable that they do such a thing, and so that's why he retires at that point, because at that point he's no longer contracted to Ajax. I mean, I kind of, it sounds, I don't know how it sounds really, but I would love it if he could ever return. I think the chances of it are very slim, but I mean, what a story it would be. Right, let's make a change though. Sinkgraven can come on for Montari. He doesn't love playing the central midfield role. We'll put him on a support duty. Well, that's not what I meant to do. A support duty, just centrally, because it's quite a neutral, I think, to do that with someone, as a ball flies in and it's headed over, and they are putting on some serious pressure here. We're on standard. We're going to go to the counter attack. We've got very fast wingers, but yeah, AZ are continuing to apply pressure, and we've buckled there. 20 minutes to go. We were doing better when I wasn't focusing on the game so much. I've taken up a ball in the midfielder because of his fitness. I feel like that might end up being a bit of a mistake, actually. We're going to get Eunice off, bring Schoen into the centre, and put Zayek out there as a winger on support, and just see if we can create something in this final third. Of course, Dolberg's still out injured, and we'll hopefully be back fully for after the winter break. But yeah, 15 minutes to go, and we spoke about this before. This is a must-win game. I really should be changing one of these to the league table so we can see. We'll be 9 points behind, which isn't very good at all. And we'll have lost 4 games. I do worry a little bit about my job. Let's get creative, shall we? Let's say, shout at them. Oh no, don't do this. There's 3 minutes to go, and it could be a chance for. dear. Okay, I'm starting to. They've now leapfrogged us as well, which is great. We're back down to 4th, and they've pulled out an absolute wonder strike on the edge. It is a stunning strike. It really is, but. We saw my reaction. It was just the sort of. Well, I mean, this is not going to be as good as it. Whatever happens, no. Oh, brilliant! Was it offside? Something? Well, it went in the. Shall we count it? I feel like we should probably just count it. I'm going to count it. Never mind. 2-1, and congratulations to AZ Alkmaar, who progress. Well, they didn't really progress, but they go above us. 92nd minute defeat. That is a bottle job right there. Not the other things that you might have seen on the channel recently. Less so bottle jobs, but that is definitely Yes, that's definitely a bottle job. I'll begrudgingly admit to being impressed. The lad deserves credit. It was a good goal. I mean, yeah, fair enough. I thought we played well. I thought he played well, but no better than 5 or 6 others. I'm just going to slag off their other player. How are our finances? 50 million, 4 million to spend. I'm only looking at this because we've got a transfer window on the horizon. And how do the board feel about me? We're stable in 4th position, which I don't think is very good. But we're now then 10 points. Oh, dear. 10 points behind Feyenoord. I think in the next episode for Feyenoord, I'm going to try a few things and find out if we can play a little bit more attacking. If you've been watching the Arsenal series or my streams, you'll know that I think attacking is key this year, and we're going to experiment with that then next time. So that's going to bring us to the end. If you've enjoyed today's episode, do leave a like. If you want to see some more, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, the sooner Kasper Dolberg is back, the better. 4 weeks, he should be back for the new year, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye. I always do that. I don't really know. I'm not a captain. I don't know what I'm doing.